What is up, Bodyweight Exercise fans? So I recently got a flat tire, which gave me an idea. Now, although I hadn't seen this anywhere, after doing some searching online, I realized that this is not such an uncommon practice for athletes, between sprinters to triathletes to even martial artists. And for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that hill sprints are my #1 lower body calisthenics exercise, which is why this was such a great way to spice things up. When you sprint with a tire, you don't just add more resistance to the lower body, but you also add more resistance to the upper body because you have to activate more postural muscles that keep you upright, especially through the core. For example, I know that sometimes I struggle to run upright during the last part of my hill sprints, which is why I think that the tire will help me improve this. Regarding how to strap the tire on you, I started by tying it around my weighted vest to have the resistance more balanced across my body, after removing the plates, of course. Next, I tried an even more minimal option using an old leather belt, which I thought would be uncomfortable at first, but it actually felt quite fine. And then I tried using a bicycle tube, which I saw other people doing online, which ended up being my most comfortable option. In summary, after experimenting with tire pulls the last weeks, the 3 main benefits that I've seen and I have been experiencing myself are the following. #1, improved running posture and maybe overall posture. #2, greater activation of the core, but also glutes, calves, and quads. And #3, it can be a great alternative to simulate hill sprints when you don't have a hill available to you. On the downside, you'll need to find a proper location to do this. I do it on a road which is not that busy, so very rarely cars pass by, but sometimes they do pass by and I have to be very cautious, make sure that the tire is not in the middle of the road while I'm passing by. You'll be also making a significant amount of noise. So if people live around the place that you're doing this, make sure that you don't do it during early hours or late hours. And lastly, you might get some weird looks from people passing by, but personally, I'm used to that. Finally, if you're wondering how much did this whole contraption cost, I made mine with less than $2. Starting with a tire, if you go to your tire guy, the place where you get your tires changed, and you ask for an old tire that they don't need, they'll definitely give you one for free. Next, the 2 things that did cost me money were the rope and this eye bolt, this eye screw over here. So I spend 50 cents, that's euros, but also dollars nowadays, for 4 meters of rope. Next, the eye bolt and the eye screw cost me €1. So there you go, 1.5 euros or dollars. This was the only thing that I bought. Regarding the tube, the bicycle tube, again, I got this for free. I went to a local bicycle shop, asked them if they have any old bicycle tubes they don't need. They told me to come by the next morning. So there you go, with some asking around and less than $2, you can make your own sprint tire. All right, so before ending this video, in case you're curious about the routine that I've been following, I've been doing my hill sprint tire pulls twice a week. I find that to be the ideal frequency if you're combining that with calisthenics. And I typically start with 6 rounds of warming up. I'm not pulling any tires here. I'll show the exact details on the screen. And once I'm properly warmed up, I'll do 2 rounds of tire pull hill sprints. These are as close as possible to technical failure. Of course, this also depends on the day. Some days, if I'm feeling really good, I'll push myself as hard as possible. Other days, I might take it a little bit easier. In between rounds, I like to rest as much as possible. So I'll walk back down to the starting point. I'll take my time. Usually this means 3 minutes of rest. Also, another thing that I like to do with this workout is during my resting period to add some upper body calisthenics there. So my favorite way to make this more of a whole body workout is by adding handstand push-ups and dead hangs. And lastly, after my 2 tire pull hill sprints, I'll do a regular hill sprint. So no tires here strapped around me. This is how I like to finish off the workout. And that was it. Overall, great workout for the lower body. Also, some extra activation for the core. Great way to improve your running technique, your running posture, and also great way to simulate hill sprints if you don't have hills available to you. If, for example, you live in a more flat area like the Netherlands. But yeah, overall, I love this workout. This has been my new hill sprint buddy. I call him Mr. Michelin. And that was all. If you have any other questions, make sure you leave them below. And until next time, keep on training.